All right, just thought I'd update you as I head out to go see the physical therapist for my second session. I am dealing with frozen shoulder syndrome. Um, have gotten some of my movement back since the first session of physical therapy, and I'm hoping that they can get the rest of my movement back. Right now, my shoulder is probably about 90% functional. I'm able to reach over and like comb my hair, wash my hair, but I still am having a hard time trying to reach over to scratch my underarm. So I don't have full movement back yet. And I'm hoping that when I meet the physical therapist today, they'll be able to recommend some exercises or different things I might try. Or it could just be doing the same exercises I've been doing. They just need to be done more to loosen the frozen joint right there, the shoulder area. I do still have some pain when I do those stretches, but I'm pressing through because I want to get my arm back. I want to be able to use my body. It sucks. Every time I move like really fast, like if I do a sudden movement, it hurts like a level 10 pain, shooting pain. But if I move slowly and stuff, I don't really feel too much pain. I mean, there's a continual pain there, and it's worse when I sleep. And you sleep, you kind of roll over, and you roll over on that shoulder, and it bends that joint, and of course it wakes you up. So I haven't been sleeping too well. I mean, I haven't been sleeping well for the last 4 months because of the situation. But I'm hoping that, once the shoulder totally relaxes, I'll be able to go to sleep. It's kind of weird how you don't miss stuff like sleep. You don't realize how important sleep is until you get deprived. Like every night you get to waking up every few minutes or every hour whenever you roll over. Then you realize, man, sleep is like one of the most important things in life. It's like a valuable thing if you can get it, you can get enough of it. So, anyhow, that's what's going on with the PT. I will maybe do another broadcast after my visit to see how things go and what they say, but I'm really optimistic that I'll get my body back, and I'm really surprised at how effective and how fast, doing the movements and stuff from therapy loosened up my shoulder and allowed me to function. Now, if you guys saw the picture I put up for this class, I want to let you know what's going on with my stocks, my investments. I had tried to make a lot of money really fast playing the stock market, and it kind of didn't work out so well. And the reason it didn't work out so well was, this year's been hard on everybody, including investors in the stock market. So the market's kind of crashed. It's lost quite a bit of its value. And of course, because I was in it, I lost a lot. I basically, to date, have lost about $1,200, $1,200. I had put in a total, that was out of a total of about $2,900 that was put in. So since then, I have moved some of my money back out, although I'm starting to reinvest again because I think we may be at the end of the dip. We may be at the lowest point and on its way back up. I'm optimistic. Some people say that we still have a bit more drop to go before things start to move back up, but I think we're at the end and things will be going up soon. So I'm looking at trying to divert as much money as I can, spare money to put back in the stock market. But I have like a different strategy. Before I was going kind of high risk. I was buying all these penny stocks because they can multiply, like a couple hundred times in 1 or 2 days. So if you put in like $100, you can end up with $200, by the next day. The problem is, unless you can pull out right away, which I couldn't really do because I'm not like set up for day trading on Robinhood. And then you don't know what it's going to do. But that's how I lost my money. That's how I lost like $1,200. Stuff just kept dropping and dropping and dropping and wouldn't go up. And then when I pull my money out, it goes back up. So I may still play that because that's the only way I can think of to really, well, with stocks, to multiply your money. The only other way is like at a casino. You know, like even on a roulette wheel, when you bet, you know, you double your money on a silver or black, you know, you can double your money. So, and that's like in a couple minutes. That might actually be the best strategy for me trying to get a lot of money real fast, but it's also the most risky. But anyhow, I started playing again with stocks, and I'm trying to look for like high dividend stocks. And one that I found that seems to be doing better is the one that I posted on the screenshot for this video. So if you want to check that out, I think it goes, I forget what the call letters are, but it's on the picture. I think it's ARR. It's either ARR or AAR. It's on the picture. But basically, this stock yield right now is about 24%. You know, on the dividends, and I think they pay it out once a month. I don't know if it's once a month or once a quarter, but that's the highest I could find. And the other stocks that I have bought are Ford, which, you know, doesn't pay out as much, and Walgreens, WBA, Walgreens Boot Alliance is I think what they call themselves. So Ford is just F. If you want to look up that stock, it's a Ford stock. It pays okay dividend, and Walgreens also pays okay. But I started to look into more higher yield dividends, and that AAR or ARR, I think it's the highest one that I found, which is like 24%. So I won't put all my money into it, but I'm kind of spreading things out, but going towards the dividend route, even though that will not help me accomplish my goal of making a lot of money really fast. But it's a bit less risky than going to the penny stocks that were losing, you know, they could gain 200%, but they could also lose 200%. But they could lose 100%. They can't lose 200%, you'd owe money, but, you know, they drop so much. Now, I'm still tempted by the penny stocks because of the growth potential, you know. So once I get a little bit more money, I think I might invest as much as 500 into penny stocks. Just gambling with that 500. Right now, I'm not, because I lost too much. And so that's what's going on with regards to my stock situation. As far as gambling as a profession, my attempts so far have sucked. At least I still have my shirt. Okay, I still have my shirt, but I don't know. I'm just either hitting a string of bad luck, or gambling's not in my future. And some of you are like, man, Denoy, you're being really foolish trying to invest by gambling. But there was a time when I won. I used to win. You know, I used to win a lot. So I may try again. I started playing roulette, which is totally random. But I have some strategies that I think might work. I used to do a strategy of just betting like black or red or odd or even. But now I think if you kind of spread the bet out, your chance of losing, you know, dwindles, and you can actually win. Like I had $20, and I played roulette, and at the Hard Rock Cafe, the Hard Rock down in Hollywood, Florida, was over there playing. $20, and I was there for like almost an hour and a half or 2 hours on $20, and I left there with like $65. So I was up like $45 out of a $20 bet after an hour and a half, because I was doing the spread out bets where I was betting like I was betting some odd and even, and I was also betting certain numbers, not the numbers themselves, but corners. Some of you may have better strategies than me, but if you want to learn more about that, maybe one day I'll film me betting to show you what I kind of do and what kind of happens. Hopefully it'll be where I don't lose everything. But the other strategy is to hang on to money and then maybe acquire more property and then sell it when it goes back up. It's like right now, if you have money right now, you're in the minority. But if you have excess money, spare money right now, this is a bargain. You can pick up stuff cheap. Everybody's selling things, trying to, get rid of their stuff, get rid of the assets to try to get cash because they need it for a living. So you could buy things like collectibles if they ever come back into vogue, like old computers and stuff like that. 8-bit machines, you could buy all those up, like, cheap or cheaper, and hopefully go back up. But you could also buy stocks, which I'm pretty sure will go back up, probably double or triple within the next year or two. So whatever you can invest in, if you have spare money now or very soon, may be the best time, because that might be the bottom. We might hit rock bottom, and the hope is that the economy goes back up. If it doesn't, then sorry. Now keep in mind, if you follow my advice, you're listening to a janitor. So if you take advice from financial advice from a janitor, be warned. So that's what's going on with that. Otherwise, everything else is like same old, same old. I'm starting to try to motivate myself to finish up the house finally. So maybe by Thanksgiving, giving myself a little bit of time here, by Thanksgiving, hopefully I'll have the front patio done so we can use the front patio area, clean up all that mess, because I have all the leftover wood and everything else, and maybe have a lot of the garden bins. I want to make some bins for growing stuff. So I'm hoping that I can do that. I appreciate all of you who are joining me right now. Sorry I cannot reply to your chats because I am obviously driving. But that's what's going on this end. I hope everybody's staying safe, doing well, and that financially you're not in trouble. If you are, something happened. I got an email today from the United States Department of Education, and they said that I could click on that link and try to apply real quick for a $25,000 loan forgiveness. If you have a student loan, check that out. The U.S. government is pushing for a $25,000 outright loan forgiveness, which doesn't cover my loan. But $25,000 if they're able to remove it. Right now, there's a court thingy going on. I think the House, I don't know if it's Congress or the representatives, I don't know. There's a fight right now. There's a lawsuit to block it. But Biden is trying to push for just outright $25,000 loan forgiveness, pretty much on everybody who's still owing money. And it would help me because I've been paying interest. My initial loan, my loan's 35 years old, and I still haven't been able to pay it off because of what happened. The way things went down. It was one big scam. I borrowed I think $28,000. Yeah, I borrowed $28,000 to finish up my college degree in elementary education, which now I cannot use. So I got a degree I can't even use. And even when I had it, being a school teacher, an elementary school teacher, you don't get paid enough. You don't get paid anything, really. But anyhow, I borrowed $28,000 to finish up my college. So even though I had the GI Bill, which didn't cover everything. But I paid back $8,000 and then became unemployed and couldn't pay it and then went into default, and the rest is history. So I had $20,000 that I've been paying off for 35 years. And some of you are like, well, you should have been able to do that. But that's not how it works. The loan kept getting resold by different banks, and each time they kept charging additional fees, bank fees, transfer fees, penalty fees. They got my bill up to over $100,000 an initial $20,000 debt over the past 35 years. And I've probably paid in, I'm guessing, at least $75,000. Remember, the original debt was like $20,000. That's what was left. And I probably paid in cash about $75,000 that they've garnished from my wages over the years, as well as payments that I made when I could pay. You know, it's like I was paying as much as $750 a month on the loan. And it still owes. Like right now, I think the latest numbers I had was like $65,000. It's like $20,000 and you paid more than $75,000 and you still haven't paid it off, and it keeps going up every year. And that's with wage garnishments and everything. So I'll take the $25,000 they're going to give me on a discount on it, but I wish they'd just wipe it out. It's 35 years old. I've paid more than enough. I'm never going to be able to pay it off, and they keep racking it up with interest. So I'll never pay it off. And every time they transfer it to a new agency, they tack on $10,000 more. That's what's been going on with that. But if you do have a student loan, check out that program. It is frozen right now because there's a lawsuit by the GOP. I guess they're fighting it because Biden pushed it. I don't know. I think it would help everybody. Some people are saying, well, you know, they paid their loans off and it's unfair. And it is kind of unfair, you know, that if somebody worked and paid off their loans and stuff. But see, other people, you don't know their circumstances. Like for me, I couldn't get a job, and then I couldn't make the payments and fell into default, and then it went downhill from there, you know. And then when I could start making payments, by then the payments were $750 a month. And I couldn't pay because I was working as a teacher. And you say, well, you shouldn't have been a teacher. Yeah, maybe I would tell people now, don't be a teacher. You know, because you don't get paid enough. You don't get paid enough to cover your loan. So you won't have teachers. You know, that's the situation. There are extenuating circumstances. I would say, instead of being angry at those other people who couldn't make their payments, you don't know what their situation is, be grateful that you were able to pay it off and you're not in debt and in the situation that they have had with like bad credit for the past 30 years or whatever due to that situation. And, you know, I do take responsibility for it, but come on. A 35-year debt of $20,000 that ballooned up to over $100,000 that I paid $57,000 on and still haven't paid off. And it continues to grow. That's not right. And on a degree I can't even use because of what happened. I can't teach. I won't teach anymore, actually. I had some friends that could get me back into teaching, but I said, no more. I don't believe in it anymore. I don't believe in the system. I don't trust the system anymore. It lied. It lied to me. So, you know, at this point right now, I'll be happy to just, I don't even think I'm going to ever pay off this debt. It'll just go on and sit forever and keep me from being able to do anything, you know. On a positive note, I did notice my credit went up, my credit score. So as your credit, you know, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of weird how things work, but as you have more money and improve your credit score, things become cheaper for you. But you can't improve your credit score until you have more money. And when you have more money, people want to give you money. Like, you know, the creditors, they want to give you more money, let you borrow money, make it easy to borrow money. You get better terms. You get credit cards that don't charge you every month. You know, like right now, I'm up to 3 credit cards. And you're like, wow, that's risking it. You know, you can put yourself back into debt. If you use the credit cards correctly, they actually help you. You know, because you're basically using other people's money. They're letting you use their money. And the credit cards I have right now have high interest rates, like 25, 26%. That is extremely high. But because I generally pay them off, you know, within 2 weeks or so, they don't collect any interest on me. And they have money back. They have like between 1 to 3% back, cash back. So basically I get a discount on things that I buy of 1 to 3%. and I have somebody's money that I'm using, and I pay them off, every 2 or 3 weeks. And they increase my credit score so that if I want to borrow more money, I can borrow more money. But honestly, you shouldn't borrow any more than you need. But I'm trying to get my credit score up to the point where I'm in the, the excellent credit. Right now, I'm in the good. I'm in the normal. I got out of really bad credit to the point where I'm now in the good range, So getting credit isn't difficult for me, but I still don't have the best rates. I'm trying to get it to up to the maximum, which is excellent, Once you get the excellent range, you get lower interest, you get better terms, you get better credit cards. So I think 3 credit cards will do for me right now. Maybe after a couple more months, 6 months to a year, I'm going to see if they'll raise my credit limit. And if they don't do that, then I'll wait further and then just get new credit cards with higher limits. They basically give you more and more money to borrow if you want to borrow it when you don't need it, which I don't need right now, but it's nice to have, like when there's a dispute, like when you buy something online and it's not what it was supposed to be, you can argue with them. Or like a hotel, like I had a situation with a hotel. They, a lot of hotels are doing BS right now where they call themselves a resort. Like Las Vegas hotels all do this, in Las Vegas. But also South Florida hotels are starting to do this. It's not even really a resort. It's just a dumpy little hotel. But because they call it a resort, they charge you this resort fee, which is like anywhere from $20 to $50, okay? $20 to $50 per day. They charge you extra. So they'll give you this booking rate that when you go to book on hotels.com or whatever, it shows you the booking rate. And then you don't realize, that there was a resort fee, which they're not supposed to do. But I think on hotels.com, they now show it, but sometimes it's hidden. It's kind of like in fine print, so it's hard to see. But anyhow, I got this one hotel, which had a resort fee. I think if you ever go down there to Fort Lauderdale, it's called Hotelis, whatever, something like that. It was the cheapest I could find in the area, and it was like, I think at the time, it was like $90 a night. And most other hotels around the area was like $140 to $160 a night. So I got this one that was supposedly $90 a night. But then they charged, on top of that, they charged me a resort fee, which they didn't even advertise. And the resort fee was $20, which you're like, okay, that's okay. Except for the problem is the hotel didn't even have towels, didn't even have soap, it didn't even have anything. And the room was stinky and bad. And when I went in there, I complained, and they put me in another room. It's no towels, the water didn't work. I'm like, what kind of resort is this? This is not a resort. And so I went to complain. Of course, their office was closed. They wouldn't open. And then finally the next morning when I went to check out, I told them the situation. They said, no refund, no nothing, I was like, you didn't even have soap. You didn't have soap in the room. You didn't have towels for bathing. And you're calling yourselves a resort. So anyhow, I was able to dispute it. And I disputed it through hotels.com. And luckily, hotels.com said they couldn't refund it. When they talked to the hotel refused to refund it. But because I booked it through hotels.com, they went ahead and gave me $20 credit that, I could apply towards another room somewhere. So that was good. So booking through a site like hotels.com. But if hotels.com had failed to refund me, I would have contacted the credit card company and disputed the whole thing. And, oftentimes on a credit card, when you buy something, you're supposed to get what you purchased or what you believed you were supposed to get that they advertised. And if they're advertising as a resort and it doesn't even have soap or towels and room stinks and stuff, that obviously is not a resort. Who would pay for a resort like that? And when you try to do management, their answer is just like no refund and then just shut the door on you. So the credit card company would have given me most likely my full money back. But, I didn't have to resort to that. I just went through and got my $20, which I was fine with. But avoid that place, Hotolas or whatever it is in Hollywood, Florida. Worst experience ever. Maybe I should do a hotel reviews and tell you guys all the bad hotels. You know, I had like a Holiday Inn over in Port St. Lucie is terrible too. I tried to get a nice room there with jacuzzi. Of course, none of it worked, and they charged me. I think the room was like $60 to $100 more than a normal room, and the stuff didn't work. That was bad. And in that case, Holiday Inn would not refund me. Hotels.com did not refund me, but my credit card company, which I think I used my PayPal. Actually I didn't use credit card that time. I used my PayPal debit card. PayPal refunded me the full amount. So I was able to get my money back on that. Basically got a free stay but you know, you think it would be good to get a free stay, but you're trying to get a nice hotel room, you know, for a special night out with your wife or whatever. And of course the whole day, the weekend you took off from work and stuff is ruined. So getting a free hotel stay isn't as good as it seems. I mean, at least, you know, it makes you feel better because you didn't pay for the crappy room and stuff. But that whole weekend, the 3-day or whatever that you set aside to somebody special is ruined, you know. But at least PayPal came through in that. So that's why it's important to have cards like that, you know. Even though PayPal was really kind of a debit card, they still refunded me. So PayPal I actually like, you know, although they've done some bad stuff in the past. But PayPal fought for me and got my money. And most of the time credit cards will do the same. And they do that because, you know, if they don't do it, you could just stop payment. Then they'll say, we're going to ruin your credit. You say, I don't care. You're not getting the money. So the credit card company tends to back you up, you know, because they want you to keep paying them. You know, I had that happen with a car. I bought a car with a credit card. Yeah, I charged $2,000 for a car, and it turned out the company was crooked, and they wouldn't take the car back. And, you know, long story short, I contacted the credit card company, and they sided with me and gave me back my $2,000. Meanwhile, I was stuck with a car. So I got $2,000 back into my credit, you know, for my credit card, and I had a free car that I didn't want because it didn't run. You know, I bought a $2,000 car that basically didn't run. I took it to the auto mechanics, and they told me it would be like $1,600 to fix because it was a transmission issue. And I said, I just bought this. You know, it's like within one day of buying it. So the credit card company in that case gave me back $1,000 because the car company wouldn't take their car back. I was stuck with the car. So I gave the car to, this was back long ago. It was with my ex-wife. I gave it to her friend's husband, and he was an auto mechanic, and he was able to fix it. You know, it was like an Eclipse. It was like a 2005 Eclipse or something. But it turned out that the previous owner had poured, I think they put transmission fluid into the oil, where the oil was supposed to go. They poured, either they put transmission fluid into the oil, or they put oil into the transmission. No, they put transmission fluid in the oil. So whoever owned the car before mistakenly poured transmission fluid into the car as oil, and that's what made the car not work. And he did it by draining everything out, and he looked at the fluid and said they had the wrong fluid in there. So that did it. Donna says that take your potential purchase to your mechanic before you purchase. Yeah, usually you do that if you have the time, you know, and then you have a good mechanic that's constantly available. I usually I would, you know, now that I bought so many bad cars, I bought so many bad cars, I know what to look for. Basically, if a car, when you start it up, if you notice smoke coming out the back when you start it up, like white smoke, it's probably burning oil. And if water starts dripping from there, which a little bit is normal, but if it's continually dripping, you probably have a blown head gasket situation. You know, water's getting into the system and blowing out through the exhaust. But definitely, if you have oil, that's a potential problem. That's a big thing. You know, if you can see smoke coming out the back, that's a red flag that it's burning oil. And if you open up the radiator and you notice oil in there or in the reservoir, it's got a head gasket issue. Don't buy that car. But those are the big things I've noticed. But most cars that I bought, you know, like including a little blue, I usually buy them for under $1,000. You know, like the car I'm in right now, Good Vibrations, I think I bought for $1,000. So, yeah, this is really good. Anyhow, I am at the VA. I will let you guys know what happens after PT. Right now, I'm able to reach over and scratch my head. I just can't move fast. And if you're looking for a high dividend stock, check out that one. It's ARR or AAR. I don't know. But it's on the thumbnail for this. Check that out. It's the highest one I found. It's like right now at 24% dividend or whatever it is. You know, it's high. So if I had more money, I would buy a lot more of that stock. Yeah. But, you know, I'm also not putting everything into that stock because I'm kind of spreading it out. And the stocks, I guess, for me will be long range. But I'm looking at going with dividends, especially if I can find monthly dividends so that I have like an income, you know. So any spare money right now, I may put into stocks with high dividend yields and that monthly dividend. That way, every month I have an income coming in, you know. So that's the plan. Although I'm starting really, really late, you know. Normally, you should be doing this planning to invest. If you have like 10, 20, 30 years to invest, you could do really good. You know, if you could invest and, you know, keep that money in there on dividends and stuff like that, and just keep putting it back in and investing. There was a story about a janitor. Yeah, he was a janitor, and he had made over, I think, $8 million when he died. People didn't even know he had all that money because he lived really frugally and stuff. But it turned out he had like $8 million and he donated it to like a charity or something like that. But I was like, well, if he could do it, I can do it. But of course, he had 30 years of investment. So anyhow, I wish you all good luck. Take care. God bless you all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Sam, for sending me money. I want to know how the kids are doing. The kids are doing great. Kids are doing great. My son's now a young man. He's like really muscular and big, you know, like not big, but almost as big as me now. It's amazing. They grow up before you know it. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Stay safe. Bye-bye now.